Hey, happy Sunday, boys. How's everyone doing? Sorry I'm a bit late. I had a few connection issues. Perfectly on time Saturday. How you doing, my man? Hey, JVD. How you do? JVD, before I get started, man, I don't know if you saw the recent video. Um Hang on a sec. How we doing, guys? Yeah, JVD, before I get started, man, I have to apologize to you personally. I don't know if you saw the latest video that I dropped over the weekend. I had two versions of it, and JVD was in it, and I accidentally uploaded the wrong one. I only just realized it a couple of hours ago. So I had like two finalized versions of it, and JVD was in one of them, and he had like a really nice take on I'm not going to say who your guy was, but it was the I had it kind of just before the last. So I had you just before CJ, who obviously spoke about Jorge, and yeah, I managed to splice through some really nice emotional stuff on what you'd done. And yeah, I just realized that I'd uploaded the wrong one. So man, I'm really sorry. Have you ever read The Fourth Dimension by Rudolf Steiner? I have not. I have not. Do you recommend it? How you doing, Gas? Yeah, I'm really sorry, guys. I think I was 5 or 10 minutes late. Um, there were some issues with my internet. I'm sorry about that. Is it something you recommend, Sniff? And how are you doing today? Things are a bit all over the place at the moment. I was in London on over the weekend celebrating a really close friend of mine's 40th birthday, and things got out of hand a little bit. It was crazy. Yeah, crossover knows. Often when we try to do some of our collabs together, my internet freaks out at the wrong time. They've been doing some really weird like my area is getting built up at the moment, and it just seems to affect the internet quite a bit. So I apologize for being late. Yeah, it's a series of lectures he did in the 1900s. Hang on a second. Let me I'm gonna I'm gonna download it onto my um I assume they sell it on Kindle books or Apple books. I wish I'd been, bro. I should have been smoking my pipe and wearing my slippers, man. I realized going out on Saturday night, because we ended up going out until like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I realized, yeah, how fucking old I am and how I can't. The music was too loud. I turned up there at like 7:30, and within 20 minutes, I wanted to go home. Now, what's going on with Brutal? I spoke to him a little bit yesterday. Um, oh, it's on YouTube. Sniff, would you mind sending me a link for that, mate? I prefer reading things and watching them, but Clown Show is back. I heard about that as well. I I didn't understand the whole Clown Show thing, because I kind of found out he was gone, like about I think like a day before he came back. So it was a bit of like, he's there he is. So it didn't really. I don't really watch Clown Show stuff that much, because like I said, the guy's quite entertaining, but I tuned into a live stream of his about 3 weeks ago, and he was getting into it with one of his chat members. And they were basically saying they were going to beat the fuck out of each other for about a good half an hour. It was him just answering him in the DM, saying that they were going to meet up and beat the fuck out of each other. And I thought, he's starting a new job. Oh, do you know what? I saw a post from him saying that he wants to go to. Yeah, I saw like a community post saying that he's planning on going to Vegas. That sums up brutally. If that doesn't sum up brutally, nothing does. Do you know what? I was thinking that when I was on the way back. I was like, how is he going to pull this off? Because obviously I know that he's starting work soon, but I assumed he's got the weekend off and he was going to shoot down there on a Friday, and it's hilarious. Hang on, I'm just gonna open Sniff's link. By the way, guys, thanks so much for the support on the latest video. Here we go. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm actually gonna buy this book. I'd probably prefer to I'm gonna save it here, but I'm probably gonna download the I'm probably gonna pay for the book and read it. If you think it's something worth watching, Sniff, or reading, then I'm gonna jump on it. I'm always looking for new reading material. Um, Hopefully, Brutally gets to go. I think that would be hilarious. But that's funny. I wonder how his job reacted when he used those exact words. That's funny. I'm Jerry Maxing from next week, going into the woods, smoking cigarettes, punch. Bruv, that sounds like a fantastic idea. That sounds amazing. I would love if somebody did like a now that you're on YouTube now, you should do like a blog style video where you do exactly that. You just fuck off into the woods for like a week. Obviously bring adequate supplies so it doesn't end in tragedy. But get out there. Who was trying to fight in your court? Did I Bro, Saturday night was crazy. I got moved to by some dude in the bar. Like I don't mean moved to like sexually, but some guy wanted to randomly beat the fuck out of me for no reason. So I had to deal with that on Saturday night. It's just been a weird weekend. I literally woke up like half an hour ago as well. He's calling to ask for time off tomorrow. What a legend. Um yeah, do you mean the Discord? JVD, I need to find a way to make it up for you not being on that video because your take was so nice as well, man. I feel so terrible about that. I literally just realized it when I saw you pop up on the when I saw you pop up on the Discord earlier. I It suddenly just occurred to me. Hang on a second, and then looking back at the video, yeah. Honestly, I feel terrible, mate. I owe you one. And by the way, if you are here, please subscribe to JVD Media. The dude's live streams are unbelievably funny and entertaining. I will upload it as a short. That's a great idea. I will upload it as a short. That's probably a fair compromise. Um, yeah, subscribe to JVD Media. Like I said, the live streams are really entertaining. You've just got started. I think any subscriber boost we can give to JVD Media would be great. So show that guy some support. Brutally living that Chad life. I was literally because I was on the train. I was on the train back, and I saw like the community post saying that he's looking to get some donations to go to 306, and I was going to give him a shout. And I was thinking like, how's he going to pull this off? I swear he's starting a job soon. But like I said, I just assumed he'd have the weekend off. Yeah, dude's live streams are literally fire. Yeah, JVDs are like going into JVD's live streams. I was roped in literally within 10 seconds. I was like, yeah, this guy's got something. Entertaining as fuck. Thank you very much, Crystal. Man literally lit his hair on. Like I saw the razor blade in his hand and he was giving himself like a little shape up on the side. And I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And then he proceeded to call all of us cunts and that we're not worth watching, which I thought was fucking brilliant. And then the lighter came out. I was like, this is somebody to keep an eye on. He also knows what the fuck he's talking about with MMA as well. Is obviously an active part of the community as well. So hang on, Crystal's just put a link up there, which is perfect. I'm gonna hop down and I'm gonna add this to. I'm gonna pin this to the channel as well. So if you could show JVD some support, how's the day been? It's been. I'm still in recovery, man. I was saying this to the guys who came in earlier. I went to a friend of mine's birthday party. He was literally turning 40. Like we're all turning 40 this year. And I was there for 20 minutes and I was like, fuck, man, I was tired. I wanted to go home. But I ended up like soldering on and staying out with him until, well, a whole group of like old school friends and stuff until like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I feel caked. And I didn't even drink much. I had like maybe 3 drinks. I wasn't drunk. I'm just caked from like exhaustion. And then I had some idiot trying to fucking try it on with me at the bar. Like the last bar we went to this horrible dive bar. I don't know how many of you know England that well or London that well, but we went to this fucking dive bar in a place called Brixton, a very black neighborhood. and I was the only white guy there. And this skinny crackhead looking motherfucker just started shit with me at the bar. He's lucky I'm a nice guy because I definitely would have whooped his ass. And like I'm no fucking murderer out here, but he looked like a little penghead. I would have caved his fucking head in, but it was just annoying, and kind of embarrassing. But apart from that, Brixton, but yeah, he was a little toe rag, mate. I think he misunderstood. I was literally there with like 20 of my classmates, and some of them are like big fucking dudes. And I'd gone to the bar myself, and I think he was obviously, because he looked like a little bitch. He was clearly getting no pussy that night. He was probably feeling a bit bad about himself. And he turns around and sees me standing behind him, you know, only white guy in the building, and he thought, let's start some shit here. And yeah, so it wasn't the best way to end the night, but fortunately nothing came of it. Oh, Rob's neighbor, yeah. Are you able to? Rob's got a channel as well that's on the come up. Rob, are you able to do lives yet? Because you're saying you finally hit 50 subscribers, which is great. You liked Brady's. Do you know what? I didn't see. This is another thing as well, because I was out for the entire night. I was only able to watch the card this morning, so I didn't see any of the post fight interviews or anything. Uh, so I didn't see the Brady call out. I watched the fight, which it was an all right fight. It wasn't too bad, but it's not a bad call out because I will say this though. Sean Brady has improved a lot, or Gilbert Burns has fallen off that hard. It's probably a combination of both. Because like Burns looked very tentative. I like the call out though. For him, it makes sense. Of all the people above him, Gary's probably the most beatable. And we haven't seen how effective Gary will be in wrestling situations as well. But I don't think Gary's going to take that fight. I think Gary's looking up. I think Gary's kind of looking at the Usmans, Edwards, that kind of range. I don't think he's going to be. Brady seems like a little bit more of a risk. That video of Ian Gary and his bird, I haven't seen it. And I know that Guru made a video. I assume he's soying and simping out as he always does. So I'd be quite I'm gonna catch up, but like I said, I've seen virtually nothing MMA related the entire weekend. Like I said, I traveled down to London and was doing all that shit, so I missed a lot of news. I haven't seen any lives or any, because I did manage to catch up on the card this morning. Doesn't look like I really missed much. Gaz, you beautiful son of a bitch. Burns had moments versus Brady with those. Yeah, I think Burns was looking like he was looking for a Hail Mary shot, and that was basically it. And it just didn't look like it was coming. Brady looks a lot better on the feet. He looks a lot more technical. His movement's improved. And what I like about what Brady's doing now is he's not trying to land 1-2s. He's throwing shots in combination, and he's thinking about ways of moving out. And if he can get that tight, because his takedowns are really good, he could be a problem. And it makes Bilal look fucking incredible as well, even more incredible. You look dehydrated. I shouldn't, I was on my best behavior on Saturday night. I didn't start drinking until I got there at 7, and I didn't start really drinking until midnight, and I only had a couple. But I'm old, man. I realized it when I was outside. I'm old. I don't think I can handle this shit anymore. No, I mean the Burns title run was never coming. I think we knew Burns was cooked after the Bilal fight, pretty much. How you doing, Paradox? Paradox, by the way, I want to give a personal thank you as well for your contribution to the video. If you haven't seen my latest video, I've pinned it in the description, or I've put it into the description. If you guys could check it out and help me boost the numbers on that, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm very proud. I think the video that I released on the weekend that features a lot of really great creators in the space is probably the best video I've ever made. I think quite easily the best video I've ever made, and hopefully it's an indication of what's coming. Crossover was on there as well. Schnell retired. Yeah, you can't be losing to that cunt. I think Schnell. I'm surprised that Schnell was still in the organization. I think the fact that he got one more fight was a miracle in itself. I think Bilal and Brady are similar level. Brady just had a shit day in the office. I think Brady's improved exponentially, and Brady's young. Brady's like what 30, 31 years old. Brady is looking good. Trevor Peake got robbed. I was going to ask you guys about this. I rewatched that fight, and I actually watched Guru sounding off on this. Watching the fight, I've got to be. I thought that Ashmuse won, but I bet on Ashmuse, and I'm starting to think here that when I bet on people, I've got shit on my eyes. I mean, I know that Ashmuse landed takedowns and whatnot, and he had. Here's the thing for me. Yeah, I thought Ashmuse won round 2 and 3. I thought the takedowns towards the end of the rounds and the way that he was beating down on him with ground and pound were the most significant moments in those 2 rounds. That's why I thought Ashmuse won, but it was very, very close. Yeah, Gaz, if you could check it out, it's. I mean, it's not a fucking masterpiece by any means, but I feel like it's the best. It's the video that I've put the most time into, and it probably is the best video that I've done. And it's kind of inspired me to kind of work a little bit harder on what I'm doing. It's not right to see Burns in the Apex then lose. Yeah, Burns's run in the Apex was crazy. He just hasn't got it anymore. You could see he just doesn't have the volume. I think he did well to last the 25 minutes, to be honest. I think the fact that he made it that far with Brady shows a lot, but I think he should retire. I think Burns should be done. I don't know how Peak is in the UFC. Yeah, Peak. I enjoy Peak. When you watch Trevor Peak, you know you're going to get a barnstormer of a fight, and I know why they keep him around. If you put Peak in a fight, he's going to have a good scrap. But he's just dumb. Trevor Peak is retarded. Very clearly. Very, very clearly retarded. And I think with Peak here, they should just put him into. They should keep him around and just put him into. Oh, Burns did retire. Like I didn't see any of the post fight stuff. I literally watched the fights and that was it. So I saw nothing of it. Peak somebody you keep around, no matter how often he loses, just keep throwing him in there. Burns made the right decision. I'm glad to hear he did retire. Oh, thanks, Paradox. I appreciate it. Literally, like usually when I edit videos, I usually spend about half an hour to 45 minutes maximum because I just don't have time. But on this one, I literally spent hours. I spent hours doing it. Do you still want to make the videos? Yes, no chill. I do. I still want to do those 2 topics we talked about. I definitely do. What we could do is I'll try and find time tomorrow. I didn't want to put any pressure on you because I know you've been working really hard on your top 1,000 fighters video, which is fucking crazy. If you actually pull that off, if you're not trolling and you pull that off, that's going to be mad. He took his gloves off in the cage but didn't hang around for an interview. That's really sad, man. Burns has had an amazing career in the UFC. I know he was never a champion, but we get a fucking Michelle Waterson video and we don't get any meaningful send off from Burns. It's a shame, man. The UFC need to do better with that stuff. They really need to do better with that. And we've lost Mighty Mouse as well. I know he hasn't fought in a little while, but that being official as well was a bit of a bummer. Burns said in a post interview that he will return to the lab. Oh, so he took his gloves off and then backtracked immediately. You should. That's not a bad idea. Feed Burns to Morales. I think that would be a good fight. But again, I think, but yeah, I think with Burns you could probably do that. Burns is basically that's what's left for him now. He's basically going to get thrown to the wolves now if he continues. He's going to be facing every up and coming murderer just to have him on his records. Oh, yeah, Crystal, that's not a bad suggestion. Arlovsky got nothing as well. I will say this, JBD. Arlovsky didn't get anything, but what Arlovsky did, Arlovsky, believe it or not, yeah, is in the top 10 most paid UFC fighters of all time. I think he's even near the top 5. Arlovsky's made something in the range of like $15 million for the UFC. So even though he didn't get the send off, I think the UFC was sick of him. I think they were resentful of him because his contract was amazing. I think in Arlovsky's last 3 or 4 fights, he was on 300K to win and 300K to show. So when he was winning fights, he was walking away with over $500,000 fighting bums. Sorry, Matt. Are you taking Brady or Gary? I'd probably take Ian Gary. I know people give Ian Gary a lot of shit. Ian Gary is a very good striker. And he's a student of the game. Even though he's been getting kicked out of gyms right, left, and center, I think Ian Gary is very well rounded. I don't think we've seen the best version of Ian Gary yet. I think he'd beat Burns. I think in the striking he'd be too much for him. I think he'd be way too hard to take down, and he would piece Brady up. I think Brady's stand up looked okay, but he was facing a Burns who's way over the hill, and he still wasn't able to really put it on him. He didn't really hurt Burns at any moment, really, from what I saw. And again, yeah, people, like I say, I hate Ian Gary. I think Ian Gary is a little cuck. I think he's, as a human being, I detest him, but he's a very good fighter. He's a very good fighter. How you doing, Bismarck? Thoughts on Lerone Murphy? I like Lerone Murphy a lot. Very, very good fighter. I feel like that performance he had against Edson Barbosa really highlighted where he's heading for me, because I wasn't sure about him. He's looked good, but I don't know. Gary beats Bilal. I'd love to believe that, but I don't think so. I think the only person in the current roster that can beat Bilal is Shavkat. And I mean, Anakin's got a point. I mean, Shavkat's inactivity. Maybe he doesn't deserve a title shot next, but welterweight's kind of in a weird position because nobody else is really standing out at the moment. Gary's chin is questionable. It's a fair point as well. But I think he's a lot more defensively responsible. I think that's why Gary's performances have dipped a little bit, because he's a lot more defensively responsible now. He doesn't leave his chin up. He doesn't take as many risks as he used to. Lerone Murphy's life story is crazy. I wish I knew it. Is he based on Twitter? I haven't seen anything from him on Twitter either. JDM. Here's the thing about welterweight. Yeah, I think that we're in a situation where we're going to get this guy can beat this guy, who can beat this guy, and it will go. So I think that JDM would lose to Bilal, but I think he'd beat Shavkat possibly. But then I think Shavkat beats Bilal, so it's one of those situations. I think stylistically in welterweight, there's a lot of interesting shit going on. But it's really good to have you in here, Bismarck, as well. Sean Brady would beat JDM. It's an The thing is about JDM. He's terrible on the ground. So if you get JDM down, he's fucked. But his takedown defense is really good, and his striking is his boxing certainly. The way he rips to the body is one of the best in the UFC right now. It really is. So I don't know. I think JDM would deal with Brady quite easily. He was stabbed. Yeah, he's from England. Of course, he got stabbed. If you live in England, you've been the victim of some kind of at least knife attempt on your life. But what the thing is with JDM, he doesn't really get taken down a lot. Like his takedown defense is actually good, but the problem is when he gets taken down, he can't get back up. He's literally got no ground game whatsoever and no get up game. He just lays there like a turtle on his shell and just gets beaten up. I think that if you watch that fight he had with Basil Hafez, who's not that good, he was able to stop a lot of the takedowns. But when he ended up on his back, he looked so lost. Sean Brady has heart now. He's a problem. Again, I think Brady's looked good in his last 2 fights, but he's facing competition that's really dwindling. When were you stabbed? I had like an issue with a knife attack when I was like 22 or 23. It was a pretty close call. I've got like a yeah. I might tell you guys that story one day. Lerone supports rioting to the point of overthrowing the UK government. Is that what he said? It wouldn't surprise me. Things in the UK are fucking bizarre at the moment. Prates sleeps Gary. Potentially. Prates is somebody I'm very high on. Prates is going to be a really big problem. Did Brady look past Bilal? I just, to be as much as I hate to admit it, Bilal is very good. He's very boring to watch and he's an annoying little cunt, but he's also very effective and very good. Bilal's going to beat most people at welterweight. I genuinely think only Shavkat can deal with him, and I think that fight's going to be very difficult for Shavkat as well. I think it might be the one fight where Shavkat doesn't get a finish. I can see it being 3 rounds to 2 or whatever. Bilal made Brady a better. Brady does look a lot better, but again, I think it's kind of misleading as well. I think it's kind of misleading because again, Burns did not look like himself. He was trying to throw 1-2s and he was looking for a Hail Mary. You went deaf for about 10 minutes. Jeez, man, that sounds fucking scary. I've actually got a friend of mine I went to school with who went blind like 2 years ago. And he was actually at the party still winding up on girls and stuff, which is inspirational as fuck. Leon overlooked him because of the first fight. I think that's, and plus the 6 a.m. I think that's a very, yeah, and bear in mind, Paradox, remember, I was there. It was a horrible performance. I do think there were mitigating circumstances. And I do think that after the first fight, the ease in which he handled him in the first round, I do think the way that Leon was talking throughout the entire build-up, I thought he was gonna deal with him quite easily, and he seemed confident. Leon is in a weird spot right now. I think Leon should be used to exterminate Ian Gary. Ian Gary needs to do. Leon Edwards needs to do something for the MMA community. We've got to deal with Bilal as champion now, and we can never really fully forgive him for that. But if he goes out there and exterminates Ian Gary, it will go a long way to making things up. Did you sing the Tommy Aspinall song? I was drunk off my tits, mate, so I probably did. It was kind of disappointing though. Yeah, man, I was literally there at the event. I was dressed as a because one of my subscribers asked me to turn up in a onesie. No, because the event was obviously on overnight. He suggested that I go in a onesie, so I bought like this like wool wolf onesie. So I was sat there in the crowd 30 minutes after the event was over in a wolf onesie with my head in my hands, coping fucking hard. It was dreadful. City Life stream for so yeah, City Life's crazy, man. He covers everything. Yaya is awful. Hang on, I think I missed a comment you had. You said on hang on one second, let me just go back. I like Trevor Peak, but he is one of the worst fighters. Trevor Peak is retarded. Trevor Peak is an inbred retard. I really enjoy him. Yeah, Mountain Man, I did that. I really did that. To be fair, it was quite cold in the arena, so I wasn't like my biggest problem that night is I thought that I was gonna boil. I thought I was gonna boil to death, but it was fine. Yeah, I wish they'd caught me on camera because I was like I brought like a little like neck pillow as well. I was properly taking the piss out of the whole "we're here until midnight" thing, or we're here until 6 o'clock in the morning thing. Really tried to take the piss. Trevor Peak versus Tony Ferguson makes sense. Yeah, you might as well. You might as well. They need to take Tony Ferguson back out to the back, out to the barn and just shoot him in the head. They need to put him out of his misery because he's embarrassing himself. They need to put Peak versus. That's what you need to do, Anakin. With Peak, despite the fact that he's on a little bit of a losing streak, you just put him in there with somebody who's scrappy. I think that's what they were hoping for with Ashmuz. Because if you watch Ashmuz fight, he usually does stand and bang, but he just chose to bypass all that shit and started wrestling him. So it was boring for parts. Peak is dog shit, and Peak gets a lot of credit for like the wild techniques he throws. You know, up until that point, I'd never seen somebody throw standing hammer fists, which are legit beautiful to watch. But he's retarded. He's retarded. There's no other way of looking at it. He's not a good fighter. He's an idiot. Yeah, old yellow Tony Ferguson. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Just take him to the back of the barn and just finish him off. If I think what the UFC should do is just drive him out to like a really big forest and just let him out and drive off and just hope that nature deals with the situation. Peak versus Victor Martinez. Who is Victor Martinez? Why is that name? By the way, another reminder, subscribe to JVD Media if you're just turning up. I'm going to keep shouting you out today because I feel so bad about that video cock up. JVD, you're a fighter, right? I think I've seen you mention that. I would love to see some of your work. Yeah, Tony versus Peak would be fun. I think Clay Guida probably beats Tony. I find it very, very hard to find anybody that Tony Ferguson would be competitive against. Anyone. Robert, I've been saying this about Tony. I've got Tony, Michael Chandler, and John Jones all on Chris Benoit watch. I think one of those guys is going to murder their family. I'm sorry to say that. Like, I hope it doesn't happen. Of course, I hope it doesn't happen. But they all seem like, the potential is there for them to go on killing sprees. Thoughts on Lopez versus Ortega? I think Ortega's going to beat him as well. I like Lopez a lot, but he looked very, very human against what's his face, Dan Ige. I know it was short notice. I know it was a weird situation. But Brian Ortega is a Chad, and he's actually very, very good. He's got a hell of a chin. And I think his BJJ is better than Lopez's. I think Ortega's going to kick him off the hype train. Didn't I hear Tony got released? I heard they were planning on setting him up for. I think they're planning on putting him on 309. I've heard a couple of names mentioned. But I mean, if you're getting dusted by Michael Chiesa, who is one of the biggest scrubs I've ever seen, I got into a big argument with well, not a big argument, but a friend of mine that is an MMA fan. Funnily enough, at this party that I went to on Saturday, and he was saying, "Oh man, like," because we were talking about Brady versus Burns, and he was like, "Oh no, Brady's really good. He beat Chiesa." And I'm like, Chiesa's fucking dog shit. And look at what Chiesa did to Tony Ferguson. War Machine versus Tony. I mean, I think they need to give Tony Ferguson a goodbye layup. I think Tony Ferguson's going to keep coming back and keep fighting until he beats somebody. I think Tony Ferguson wants to go out on a win. So they need to give him somebody who's really, really shit. But I mean, personally, they should stop giving him fights. But the thing is, I think Tony Ferguson is still under contract. So the UFC is obliged to offer him fights while he's still under contract, or else they could breach it. And obviously, Tony Ferguson's going to accept whoever they give him because he's also somebody who is... I reckon he was a scholar when he started out, and he's been battered into oblivion so hard that He's the retard that we now see in front of our eyes. Because Tony Ferguson will be offered. Yeah, they should drag BJ Penn out of bed. How you doing, B7? Just a reminder to everyone here, if you haven't seen the latest video that I've done, that I released this weekend, please check it out. I really would like to see those numbers get a little bit of a kick up the arse, because I'm very proud of that video. Lee Murray versus Tony in a Mongolian prison. Tony is gonna end up fighting in BKFC. We're gonna see. We've probably seen. I wouldn't be surprised if we get 10 more fights out of Tony Ferguson. Put him in there with Cal Baralio. Why not? Why not? Tony Ferguson is going to accept whoever they give him. He just will. So the UFC are kind of in an awkward position where they can either. I think what the UFC should do, if the UFC want to do something good for once in their lives, they should terminate his contract and pay him out for the rest of it. The problem is it's not going to stop Tony Ferguson fighting, because he's going to end up going to BKFC or going to PFL, or somewhere will take him on because it's Tony Ferguson. And Tony Ferguson, we haven't seen the end of Tony Ferguson humiliating himself. Bismarck, we're going to see it. We're going to see him go on a 13 fight or 12 fight losing streak, I think it was, in one form or another. He'll probably get one more in the UFC where he's going to take another battering, and then he'll go off to BKFC. He's going to go on a BJ Penn, worse. It'll be worse than that. They should do that, though. They should drag BJ Penn out of bed and just have them two fight. Fuck it. Or do Nick Diaz. Because Nick Diaz wants to fight again. He missed out on a long point of not, and he looked absolutely dog shit against he made Robbie Lawler look prime, which is impressive. And they can both retire together. Do Tony Ferguson versus Nick Diaz at 309 and just let them all go off into the sunset. Let them both head off into the sunset together. That's what I would genuinely do if I was matchmaking. It would be horrible to watch, but we all would watch it. It would be intriguing. It would be like two bums fighting in a back alley, and it could be entertaining for that purpose. Two washed up bums scrapping it out. That's what I'm saying. Double retirement. Because it would be a great fight for them both to piss off to. Should make a movie based off Tony where he's a superhero who intentionally loses MMA fights to conceal his identity. Tony Ferguson is going to have a horrible. We have not seen the true downfall of him yet. I want Giga versus Josh Emmett. I think Giga Chikadze is shit. I think that guy is so cringe and so overrated. I think Josh Emmett would knock his block off. So yeah, let's do it. Yeah, that weed ban is one of the worst catastrophes or mishandling of a situation in UFC history. The way Nick Diaz got done over for that is a disgrace. It's literally a disgrace. Because I'll tell you what, like I said, that was one thing, doing that video, because I had two creators that were on the video. I was so happy that they shouted out Nick Diaz, because I've got a lot of love for that guy. It was disgraceful what happened to him in the prime of his career. Giga almost beat Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen is a bit of a weird one. Arnold Allen is the kind of Arnold Allen is really good, but sometimes he makes a mountain out of a molehill. There was a very, very clear path to victory for Arnold Allen in that fight, and he didn't take it. Nick was my first favorite fighter. I would have loved to have. So yeah, Mountain Man, check out that video because there's a good section of it in the middle. The video I'm talking about is in the description. There's a good part of the middle section where both where two of the guys basically shout out Nick Diaz, and I put quite a few highlights of him on there, and I was really glad he got a shout out. Allen versus Yair needs to be next. I would love to see that fight. I think I hate to admit it, but I'd. Pr- oh, how you doing, City Life? How you doing, my man? They're doing Superlek versus Haggerty, right? Wait, has that fight already happened? Because I saw posters for it. Bro, I had an awesome weekend. I had an awesome weekend, City Life. Shout out to City Life Project. If you haven't subscribed to him as well, get your asses over there. Um, one of the most dedicated live streamers in terms of every event in the game. Check the guy out. He's amazing. City Life, if you could check out my latest video as well, I think you'd enjoy it. It's in the description. It was basically an ode to like what got people into being hardcores. Superlek beat him in 40 seconds. Oh fuck. I didn't read that was on tonight. I've always thought Haggerty was in danger of something like this happening. But the thing is that the Superlek one, I'm a bit irritated by that because I thought Superlek lost to Rodtang. I thought Rodtang got robbed. So ugh. But Jesus, yeah. That was always on the cards. I thought Superlek was gonna win that fight as well. Yeah, I haven't watched any MMA or anything in the last I watched last night's card this morning. But it's the first card in a long time that I haven't watched live. I need to go back and watch that. Fucking hell. I'm not surprised though. Superlek is an absolute savage, but I did think that he lost to Rodtang. Hopefully we get that fight again. I thought that was a horrible robbery. I need to find some highlights of that. It was in there. A robbery strong. I thought Rodtang had the better moments. I know he got the knockdown, but I thought Rodtang was landed a lot more and was just more active. Robbery's wrong. I think like maybe just like a slightly incorrect decision. Good to see all the homies in the chat. Yeah, man. Sunday's usually a good one as well for people turning up and having a nice chill one. I've started to really value these Sunday streams. I really want to pick Marab. I think he can win and shock the world. I think Marab is going to get dusted in a round and a half. I think Marab is going to get knocked out. I'm going to put a decent amount of money on. Do you know what? City Life. I think I think maybe even a draw would have been fair. I think it was 10-9s in 2-10-9s and possibly a 10-8 the other way. I wouldn't mind that. If Rodtang didn't get knocked down, it would have been close. Knockdown is an automatic 10-8. Yeah, that's a good point. So I think a draw would have maybe been fairer. It was 3 rounds, yeah. Yeah, check it out. It's probably the best video I've ever done. I'm genuinely proud of it. Like I said, it's not a masterpiece by any means, but compared to the usual dog shit that I put out there, it's much better. I know the logical pick is O'Malley. I just think Marab can win. It's not a bad pick. We all know it's going to go one of two ways. Either Sean is going to chin him out fairly early, or Marab is going to fuck him he's going to finger his butthole for 25 minutes. JVD, GSP lost to Hendricks. Fuck that control time bullshit back in the day. City Life, do you know what? Yeah, I rewatched that fight for a video I was doing a couple of weeks ago. It was a lot closer than I remember. Like under the current rule set, GSP definitely lost that fight. But under the old rule set, you can kind of see why he got the decision. Do I think he won the fight? No. But a case can be made. It was a lot closer than I remember. But obviously, Hendricks did way more of the damage. And he had the bigger moments. But in terms of round scoring, I can see why somebody might see GSP winning it 3-2. I'm most certainly picking Marab. I don't blame you. It's an interesting one. I think Sean's going to chin him out, though. I think Sean O'Malley's just I think he's reached another level now. I think he knocks his ass out. especially with all the issues going on with Marab coming into the fight as well. You know, the suspected staph infection, the cut. I don't know, man. I think everything's leaning in Sean O'Malley's direction. And I think the fact that Marab is a bit chinny as well. I mean, if you're getting dropped by Marab and who was the other guy who dropped him? Shit, I can't remember off the top of my head. But he's been dropped a few times. What was the worst? Sorry, JVD. What was the worst robbery in the UFC? For me, the worst robbery I've seen lately was Kai Kara France and Albazi. The Leech versus Mike Rodriguez was another terrible robbery as well. Those are the ones that stand up to me. O'Malley opens the car early before chinning him. I could see something like that happening. I hate the 10-point must in MMA, to be honest. Love the way Ryzen scores it. Fight as a whole with damage being number one. I think, yeah, we need to go back to the days of just having 15 minutes and you just fight. No breaks, because I think it would lead to a lot more finishes. Maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. Yeah, Albazi versus Kai Kara France was 4-1, clear as crystal, and you can make a case that it was 5-0. Kai Kara France landed more takedowns. He outstruck him like 3-1. I don't know how in any universe you give that fight. Yeah, Ryzen's amazing. The 10-9 system definitely needs to bounce. We need something. We need something to change with that. It's actually a video that I've got in the backlog as well, because I made a video about how they should change the scoring system as well. It's something that I've got on the back burner for one of the topic videos that we did back in the day, and I didn't release it. We should allow biting in MMA. We were talking about this before. I'm glad that like grounded opponent things are going to change as well. Hair pulling, fuck it, why not? This is dark, but yesterday I made a joke about my girlfriend's grandpa, and now he just died. Yeah, that's awkward. That's awkward. Rest in peace. No blowjob for you tonight, I'm assuming. Ryzen has their own BMF belt now, last man standing, and they're gonna make it unlimited rounds. That is a fucking incredible idea. That is an incredible idea. That sounds way more badass than the BMF. Last man standing. We've talked about this as well. I mean, I don't want to see fighters get brutalized. I really don't. But if they're willing to sign up for that, fuck it. Hell yeah. JVD's got a new inspiration in life. That sounds right up your alley, mate. That sounds like a fantastic idea. Ryzen is fucking incredible. 5 Hail Marys. Ilya is gonna face plant Max. When that fight was announced, I was fairly confident that Max Holloway was gonna win. But the more that I think about it, it's not a great matchup for him. Holloway really struggles against short, stocky guys that can throw hands. And he might be the best guy around to do that. Socket kicks, stomps, knees to grounded opponents in 12. It should be. It really should be. There's no logical reason why they've stopped doing this. None at all. And I'd love to say the problem that the UFC has is obviously because it's so mainstream. The last thing they want is a viral moment where someone's down on the ground and they get their head soccer munted to the moon, and it ends up going viral. Because the UFC is on another level. That like I get why they're trying to lean away from making the sport look that barbaric. Because the UFC is obviously more mainstream than any organization on earth. So the reason why we're never going to see it is because for them it's just not worth the risk. How you doing, Andrew and Andy B? My boy Andy B, how you doing, my man? Shout out to you. And Andrew is on the verge of having the most viral fucking expression in YouTube history. And we all need to push hard to get it there. I want Holloway to badly beat Superior. I really do. I just think when I look at the matchup struggles that the Holloway's had in the past, I don't love it. I don't love it. I think Superior might be tailor made for him, but I hope I'm wrong because I think Superior is a fucking fringe. He's an inactive, arrogant little ball bag, and I'm not looking forward to him having a long reign. Why do you dislike Tapuria? He's a sick fighter. I don't dislike him as a fighter. I just dislike his inactivity, and I don't like the fact that I don't like the fact that he basically, before he even won the belt, he was already discounting people he was going to defend against. Like he's kind of said, like he named 5 guys in the top 5 who are never going to get title shots because he thinks they're undeserving, and that was before he even won the belt. And it's been 9 months now since we saw him fight. I know we're obviously getting him and Holloway, but it took a lot to get there. I did like your post earlier on this evening, and I commented on it as well. And I like the post that you sent of the brownies as well, Andy. I feel like I need to get my hands on some brownies as soon as possible. They look fucking good. Ilya was trolling about the defenses. I'm not so sure though. I'm glad we're getting the Max fight, but he seems like somebody who is quite difficult to deal with. Ilya is a bit of a cunt. Let's just call it what it is. I think he's a fantastic fighter, but I want to see activity. I want to see activity. I want to see those fights. And I reckon the annoying thing is we probably get if both him and Sean win in the next few weeks, we probably get both of them off for 7-8 weeks, and then 7-8 months, and then we probably get those two, and that's probably where that's going to be heading. No love for nomads like me. It's true, man. Ilya is a troll. He is a troll, but that's the problem. That's the problem with embracing that troll life. It's very difficult to know where one ends and the other begins. Thanks, City Life. I really, really appreciate that. I think you'll enjoy it. It is one of the better videos I've made. I implore all of you, if you haven't seen this video, in my description, the latest video I did over the weekend is hands down the best video I've made. It's a solid 5 out of 10. Solid. And I'm gonna be aiming to have the same, to improve the more and more I release videos. Thanks, my man. And shout out again to City Life Project. I really appreciate you stopping by, man. Thanks for all the great work you do. And for covering every card on the fucking planet, mate. You're a legend. I want to go out, but I feel like everywhere info here is going to be a shootout. Everywhere I go, there's going to be a shootout. When's the last time you had a good night out, Sniff? I imagine you'd be a wild man on a night out. Okay, maybe I'm going to watch it tomorrow. Thank you very much, Andy. It's a good one. I would like to see Ilya versus Paddy. I mean, the beef that's why I kind of liked Ilya for a while. The way that he absolutely destroyed Paddy on Twitter and mocked him in person. Because I used to hate Paddy back in the day. But I kind of like him now. So maybe that's part of the reason as well. So JVD, where do you fight? I would love to see some of your I'd really love to see some of your fights, man. MMA fighters are so fucking poor. Yeah, it's not it's a hard grind, I can imagine. Last year, fucking hell, man. Sniff, I was saying this earlier, man. I learned that last night. Last night, mate, I got like 20 minutes in and I was exhausted. Like I wanted to go home. And I wasn't even drinking. Like the music was really loud, like pulsating. I was like, I fucking hate this. And it was just it wasn't like a club or anything. It was just a bar, but the music was loud. It was like, I just want to go home. It was shit. You can't find one. Bro. I feel like I feel like my curiosity is getting the better of me. I need to see this. I'm desperate to see this because somebody did mention to me that you're a fighter, so I'm very intrigued now. Yeah, Sniff's probably wild beat. Sniff's definitely somebody who'd have your back. I reckon Sniff would throw down in a fucking instant. No issues. I'm good. I ate smash. I've heard about Smash Burger. Next time I head over stateside, I need to try this shit out because I've heard quite a few people mention this now. That's the thing, Robbie. It wasn't even clubbing. We literally went to a bar, and there were a whole load of like my like ex classmates and shit like that. And I saw people that I haven't seen for like 20 years. So it was pretty good from that perspective. And a couple of people that I didn't want to see. I literally had like 3 drinks towards the end of the night, which is nothing for me because I'm a fucking savage in a drinking game. But I just wasn't. Like I said, it wasn't a club. And getting into that altercation was bot's back. Fuck you, bot. You piece of shit. How you doing on this fine Sunday, by the way? You absolute twat. Aaron, how you doing, my man? Aaron, I haven't seen you in here for a hot second. Aaron, did you catch the video that I released over the weekend? It was a beauty. I've linked it in the description. If you could check it out for me and let me know what you think, I'd really appreciate it. It was a doozy. Yeah, JVD knows about the community in here. The community in these chats is getting really, really good. Apart from Bot, who's an absolute bellend. I'm just kidding, bro. I enjoy Bot for the amount of abuse he gives me. Andrew hates Rigo too. Fucking legend. Rigo is an. I feel like this needs to be brought up every stream. I'm not going to talk about Rigo too much because I don't want to. Rigo is a nonce. He's a nonce. He should be on a list, and he should have been kicked off YouTube years ago. And that's all I'm going to say about that fucking noncy little twonk. He looks like a typical twink as well. He looks like he gets rammed up the arse and probably enjoys it. I haven't drank for years now, so I hate. That's the issue as well because I basically within an hour everyone was sloshed out of their minds, and it's not fun to be around. It's not fun. And my like I said, I've got a friend of mine who I went to school with who went blind like 2 years ago. And so I spent most of the night chaperoning him around, which was cool. Or half the night chaperoning him around anyway, which was cool. Rigo is a nonce, it's true. Top nonce. You know, you get top G's, he's top nonce. The stuff he says in his comment sections, let's be honest, the live streams of little boys, it's amazing that the guy is still on YouTube. He's an egotistical nonce. And those two going together is a scary proposition. Because he literally thinks nonce means that you have a proclivity for little boys. Bismarck, that's what that means. It means a PDF file. He is a top nonce. The fact that he's still active on YouTube is baffling to me. With the stuff that he said. So basically, Rob, he had like it's a really tragic thing here. So he had like a cyst he had a cyst in his brain, like behind his eye. Or the what do they call the stream that connects your eyes to your brain? He had a cyst on that, and basically they were late to operate. He was going to the doctor for a few years, and he wanted to get it removed, and they kept delaying the operation, and then eventually his sight just went, and they eventually operated on him, but it was a bit too late, and now he's blind. I've got so much love for that guy. He's such an inspirational person. Because if that was me, I don't know how I'd handle it. I'd probably be in my apartment somewhere, getting fucking browned off my head. I'd go out sad. But he's a very positive person. Yeah, to put it simply, Rigo likes kids. That's correct. Watch it. Rigo might send the non squad to come and report you. It's on the cards anyway. I mean, I've said quite a lot about Rigo in the past, and I don't give a fuck. I like to keep a 22 on me in case things get out of hand. I used to carry an S&W 9 shield with holster on belt, and it got too uncomfortable, so I have a 6 shot. I guess a 22 is all you need. I mean, it's going to be just as effective, isn't it? Like if you hit the person in the right place, it's going to be game over anyway. You don't need to carry a cannon round of you, really. Like, just a little bit of subtlety. Is that the 22 you carry around in your pocket? Yeah. I need to get my What did he do to become a nonce? Well, he's basically a groomer. He goes into Bismarck. If you're on the Discord, yeah, I've been sent screenshots of him saying stuff about graping kids and about how he could. There's a remark that he made in one of the live streams of who's that kid who live streams a lot. Better MMA, I think his name is. There was a live stream that I happened to stumble into. I was in there for a couple of minutes because I'm quite a big fan of There's another guy I think he's like 21 or something. I keep forgetting the guy's name. But I'm a subscriber of his, and I jumped into one of his live streams, and Rigo was in there saying some really strange stuff about how he could grape everyone in the chat and that they couldn't do anything about it. It was very strange. Anyway, I'm not going to get too much into Rigo because fuck that cunt. Fundraiser to send JVD over to introduce himself to Rigo. That is something I could get behind as a fundraiser. Fuck yeah. Like I haven't seen JVD fight, but I guarantee you he'd make mincemeat out of that little fucking nonce. Better likes, yeah, I know that Better is one of Rigo's little. He's in his like stable of boys basically. That kid doesn't understand he's getting groomed. Oh fucking hell, Westy! Why did you have to put it like that? How old is MMA? I like MMA Plug. I like his content. I think the guy is very entertaining. But yes, as you so put it, I'm not going to put it in those words. But he's the content creator that I like, and he is relatively on the young side. Rigo is made of balsa wood. Rigo one day is going to get kicked off YouTube, and he's going to have a fucking legendary meltdown. I'm calling it. One day YouTube's going to pick up on the things that he's doing. They're going to kick him off forever, and he's going to have the mother of all meltdowns. And it's long overdue. Rigo shouted out my channel. Bismarck, I didn't realize you had a chat. Shout out to Bismarck MMA. Subscribe to Bismarck MMA. Backwards. Sick fucking name, bro. What fight are you most looking forward to next week? Probably the Lopez and Ortega fight. Out of everything on the card, it's not a great card. We've got to be honest, but I think it could be potentially. If they've matched things up correctly, I think it could be good. Shout out to Bismarck MMA quickly. Definitely give that guy a look see. And actually, Bismarck, I'm going to subscribe to you right now myself. Bismarck MMA. Maybe I've subscribed to you already. Bismarck, you've got a sick profile picture of Marvin Vittori. Shout out to Bismarck MMA. Let's try and get the guy up to 100 subscribers. But despite the fact that he did shout you out, it doesn't make up for noncery. It does, and he bullies people who, let's just say, don't deserve to be bullied. Don't worry, Bismarck. I've posted you once or twice. Shout out to Crystal. I'm neutral. The thing is, I completely understand Bismarck being neutral. I think some of the YouTube beefs are fucking stupid and unnecessary. Like there are some people who are beefing that where it's just like it's clearly just it's handbags. But Rigo is genuinely a problem. The things that he says, and again, it's not just the things that he says. It's the fact that he convinces people to mass report channels is another thing that I don't like. Take it easy, Andy. Have a great one, man. Enjoy your Sunday night football. Sounds like a riot. Yeah, the fact that he actively encourages his subscribers to mass report channels is a big problem when he should be getting kicked off the platform himself. It's ironic to me. And one day it's going to happen. I completely agree with you both. Rob and Bismarck, I agree with both of you. In most instances, I think YouTube beefs are stupid and a waste of time. But this guy is literally a menace. He's a menace. He's the one reason why I do say that it's why whenever his name comes up, I always take a few moments to call him a nonce and a little pussy, because that's exactly what he is. Me and Ronan are having Ronan's having a rough time of it at the moment. Whenever I pop into his live streams, there's somebody in there trolling him about musical. I've said this multiple times live on stream. Musical. Who's a menace? Rigu, our boy Rigu. Sorry, I already spoiled it. No, I don't think. Yeah. I don't think. Like I've said this in the past as well. I quite like Ronan. I do think he's a little bit he can get a little bit emotional at times. But that's part of the entertainment value as well. I quite enjoy what he does. But beefing with musical and saying out of pocket things about musical is a very unadvisable thing to do. But again, I've got no horse in that race. I mean, I'm obviously really cool with musical. Like, so saying I don't have a horse in that race is kind of disingenuous. But Rigo is a twat goblin. He needs to be stuffed back inside his mother. Crystal, yeah, I never hear you speak. This will tell you, yeah. Crystal is one of the sweetest people on this platform. Also has a great channel as well. Shout out to Crystal Miller. I never see Crystal Miller talk shit about anyone. Crystal goes in on Rigu in a way that I've never seen. That comment that Crystal made about Rigu wearing his that he should go to prison and he should wear his boxers back to front just to make the process quicker is one of the most savage things I've ever heard from my chat. I'm a top musical glazer now. It's beef. Musical is the guy. How you doing, Danny Z? Ho! I don't know what you're trying to say there, but welcome to the chat. Yeah, the musical Ronan thing, I think there's only going to be one winner in that situation because musical is chill as fuck and he doesn't give a shit, whereas Ronan does. Yeah, Lopez. I don't think Lopez. I can understand why people are picking Lopez. A Lopez sub would be fucking wild. I think, yeah, Crystal, please drop a link to your channel. Crystal, it makes the most wholesome content on YouTube. It's beautiful. I genuinely get a flutter in my heart when I see a Crystal short pop up on my feed. I love Crystal's content. It's so wholesome. Yeah, Rob, I don't blame you. I think Lopez is. I think I love Diego Lopez. I think he's an absolute Chad. He's so entertaining. I think Brian Ortega's a bad matchup for him. Yeah, that's the thing, Bismarck. Stay away from it. I completely agree with you. I honestly feel shame with myself for even talking about it. I do. It's just that, yeah, like I said, it will show you the fact that Crystal is roasting the fuck out of this guy. And Crystal is the sweetest human being I've met on this platform, says it all. Musical will win because Ronan won't be able to get down in the dirt with him. Musical doesn't give a fuck. Ronan does. You can push Ronan's buttons and watch him explode. Whereas Musical doesn't have any buttons to push. Musical's built differently like that. You can't beat somebody who has the mindset that Musical has. And he's willing. And the thing is, he'll take little jabs that will just like break you down. Why would ape beef with somebody who's from another part of the world? To like, I'm gonna be real. I don't want to say I've the reason why I kind of think it was weird is because I thought some of the stuff that Ronan said about Musical's channel was a bit out of pocket. There was no need for it. I feel like the reason why I'm kind of a bit is because I feel like Ronan kind of instigated it a little bit. He made comments about Musical's like subscriber count and his growth and stuff like that, which is a strange one because I know that Musical's subscriber count has stayed very much as mine has, very stagnant for a little while. But his community is one of the best on YouTube, and it's rabid. So it seemed like an unnecessary, and I hate when people do stuff like that. You know, when they look down on people for their subscriber count, I think it's a very bad look. Like to use that as the rod to beat somebody with, and especially when Musical was somebody who supported Ronan's channel in the beginning, I thought it was a bit of a cheap shot. But that's just the perspective that I've seen of it. Rigo, the pool smoking butt pirate. Beautiful. Crystal has some fucking awesome chickens. And we're talking about, that's not a euphemism. We're talking about euphemism. We're talking about actual chickens, by the way. Yeah, and also, like I said, it's just, like I said, it's an 316, my boy. 316. If you could check out my latest video, I've never plugged a video in my life. Whenever I make a video on my channel, I never plug it. Check out the video that I did I've linked it in my description if you haven't watched it already. I'm genuinely proud of this video. It's a solid 5 out of 10. It's not completely shit. And hopefully it's an indication of the trend I'm hoping to go on. I haven't told Musical yet, but Musical has said this to me in the past as well. I mean, he hasn't gone into specifics, JVD, but he has kind of said that you've had a bit of a hard time along the way. And honestly, I think you being on YouTube is perfect. It would be the perfect outlet for you because you're entertaining as fuck. You've got great takes. And I think that's the one thing I love about this community. And it's the community that I'm trying to cultivate in here as well. I don't mind a little bit of trolling and a little bit of back, and you know what I'm saying? I've got no room for cunts. For genuine cunts. So like, yeah. I think you could find some real solace in the community that we've built up in here. And on Musical's community is fucking sensational as well. So I'm glad that it's had that effect. Nice one, Andy. I was surprised you were still sticking around. I appreciate that you stuck around for a bit longer. Great to see you back here as well, 316. You're one of the OGs in here as well. It's always a pleasure to have you here. So it's a pleasure to have anyone here. Still blows my mind that it says I've got 24 on YouTube and another 15 or 16 on Twitter. It's crazy to me. I will never stop being grateful for it. But yeah, Frankie, how hyped are you for close up? Chris. I was wondering where you were. Chris Gray was the guy who got me to wear the onesie at 304. How you doing, Cold Art? Frankie is here. Yeah, man. I was a bit I was on hiatus over the weekend. I went to a friend's 40th and I didn't even get blitzed out of my skull, but it was rough, man. Let's make an effort to try and get Bismarck to as close to 100 subscribers as possible. If you could subscribe to Bismarck MMA, I don't get the foot thing with anyone that has a foot fetish to me should be on some kind of list. I don't understand people that have foot fetishes. It's the weirdest body part to me. No, do you know what? From Immortal, I can already monetize. I just choose not to. I don't think my content is good enough to be monetized. Although I am very proud of the video I released over the weekend. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to keep plugging it. Go check it out. It's in the description. And it's mostly because some of the creators that I did the video with were fucking amazing. Yes, Robert, tits and ass. I'm so sorry you had to witness Bilal versus Leon at 5 a.m. I'm still not over it. The thing is, yeah, I'm not over it, but Dricus Duplessis beating Adesanya went a long way to filling that gap in my soul. I think if Adesanya had bonged out Trickus, it might have driven me from the sport for life. I think I would have quit right there and then. Oh, Chris, man, I owe you that. I owe you that. And the funny thing is, I threw away the onesie this a couple of days ago as well because I'm like, I'm not going to use this, and I've got no space in my closet because I'm constantly hiding in there. You know what I'm saying? You should monetize. Why not? I'm only going to monetize when I feel like my content is good enough, and I don't like the idea of there being like mid-roll ads in my videos and stuff like that. You're a leg man. Weston's a leg man, and I respect that. I used to be a leg man growing up, but I graduated to being a fully blown ass man. How hard was it to stay awake? Really fucking hard, mate. And the thing is, like I've said this multiple times. There was a guy behind me, a Scouse guy, who was openly doing cocaine in front of everyone, and he was constantly harassing me to do a bump with him. And it was tempting by the time it got to like 6 o'clock in the morning. It was fucking horrendous. Shouldn't the name of the channel be you mean my channel? I used to be called I used to have a different channel name. And basically what I did was I put the community were constantly asking me. The community were constantly asking me to change the name of the channel. So we had like a whole voting thing, and then they decided on Fight Night Frankie. So Fight Night, the reason why the channel was called Fight Night Frankie is because my community voted for it. Yeah, Scousers are fucking scum, mate. But the guy that was the guy who was behind me, he was with like his girlfriend, and she was bored out of her mind, but she was hot as fuck. Every minute she was like, "This is boring. I want to go home." And she had a point because it was boring and shit. Oh shit, guys! I forgot to tell you everybody the story of when my husband met my ex girlfriend. I'm sorry. Wait, what? Let's get into this immediately. Yeah, let's not talk about the old channel name. Yeah, the old channel name was it was a dark time. Are all Scousers like Darren Till? Darren Till is a respectable Scouser, if that gives you any indication. Darren Till is basically the king. He's like the upper class version of a Scouser, if you can believe it. But yeah, backwards. If you could give, it's great to see you in here as well. It's a fucking sick name, very hard to say. I'm a big fan of alliteration. Um, yeah, Crystal, we need to hear more about this. No, like Robert, like most Scousers are like Till is tame compared to most Scousers. But I think we all want to find out what Crystal's talking about. Not to sound like a massive pervert, but that sounds very interesting. Get Crystal on panel immediately. I should absolutely do that. Yeah, this was a couple of weeks ago. We went out to this new bar in town, and she was our waitress, and she started hinting towards our past. Stop tickling our balls, Crystal, and get to the point, please. Yeah, Darren Till is the most mentally sane Scouser. And if you've seen Darren Till's recent Guru, yeah, I didn't see the Guru stream yesterday. I didn't. I saw Guru and Till having one of the most bizarre interactions. Obviously the video they did together. That was a sane Scouse. Scousers are off their fucking heads. He's like a private schoolboy Scouser. 100%. He's an elite Scouser. An elitist Scouser. To get her to shut up, I turned around and said, "Yeah, I dated this bitch until she cheated on me with a kid in her class named Matthew, and she's a dirty whore. We were assigned a brand new waitress." That is a very satisfying end to that story. Crystal, do you know what? Yeah, whenever I underestimate you, Crystal, because in your video in your videos you come off as such a sweet, caring person. You're the fixing a bird's broken wing type person. So when you come out with these fucking savage rants, it always catches me by surprise. With a kid in when you say a kid, yeah, can you be like I don't want to sound but How young are we talking here? And Crystal, I now understand, yeah, why Crystal is so based. Because Crystal has been out here banging chicks as well. Crystal, you fucking legend. You've just Crystal, I didn't think you could get any higher in my estimation. You've smashed it off the scale. Crystal is the female sniff. That is the ultimate compliment. I have said multiple times on stream, I do not understand lesbians. I understand fags and the whole needing a dick situation. I don't understand lesbos. I've never understood it. But I'm sure Crystal probably would be the most qualified to explain how that shit works because I've never understood it. Yeah, bitches named Amber are never that's never a good. You should have known. Yeah, Crystal is one of the most based women I've ever met. Like I often sound off on how much I hate females in general, and and Crystal gets it. Crystal gets it. Backwards. If you're surprised at what I just said there about the dicking down, I'm not a closeted dude as much as I might look like, and I would never partake in activities like that myself. You know, I'm a very fond um advocate for vagina. I'm a vagina guy all the way. Okay, backward. Here's my rationale to it. Yeah, when there is a dick in the situation, somebody's nutting or somebody's get like I can't relate to it in that way, but I get it because there's some kind of nutting going on. I get the situation. With lesbians, it's like they're using fake dildos. Why not just or using fake dicks? Why not just use a real one? You know what I'm saying? Fuck you, Chris. Chris, I've missed having you in here, man. Chris, have you checked out my latest video? And what did you think? Exactly what a closeted dude would say. It's fine, Paradox. I'm perfectly comfortable. I mean, the thing is, yeah, I've already said enough on here to ruin my situation forever. I don't really care. Armsby, you literally turned up at the wrong time. We've been having a very respectable conversation up until this point. It's been perfectly, it's been off brand for what it's usually like in here. But I don't understand muff on muff. I don't get it. If you need to throw like a fake dick into the situation to make things worse, you might or to make things work, you might as well just have a real one. I think lesbians are in denial. And we've spoken about this before. I just don't understand it, and I never will. Sorry, Armsby. I know yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. But yeah, I'm fully a muff advocate, just to be clear. There's nothing I love in the world more than a good muff. Anyway. Only girl I know named Amber kicked my shin wicked hard because I didn't like her like she liked me. Yeah, Westy, you've had a rough one, man. Getting used for the D as often as you have in your life. It's been a rough life for you. So, if gays and lesbians were to have a race, who do you think would win? I'll tell you this about gays, right? Gays are not to be fucked with. Because it's like I've said multiple times here. If you take it up the arse for fun, you're somebody who should not be fucked with. Oh, that's quite the yeah, Crystal, maybe you can explain this to me because I don't get it. As far as Muffin Muff, you have to know what you're doing, I guess, and I really broke her heart, I guess. Crystal, I'm really grateful that you're sharing this. I'm genuinely grateful. Thank you. I needed this, and I needed this as part of my Sunday stream. I didn't know that I needed it, but I really, really did. Larry, by the way, Larry, you fucking legend. It's really good to have you back. No, eating a good muff and eating it well makes the world go round. That's how you get a sandwich later. I mean, somebody needs to put that on a t-shirt. Somebody should put that on a t-shirt immediately. If a gay guy and a lesbian jump off a building, who do you think will land first? The lesbian, because she can go look at the split, and the gay guy has to pack some shit. Well, that's just sensational. That is. That's brilliant. Crystal, when did you? I don't know why I didn't put two and two together because of your based nature. Um, I'm surprised I didn't put two and two together. To be honest, what kind of story would you like, Paradox? I've got a fucking trunk load. I've done some genuinely fucked up stuff in my life. Genuinely, the knife story. I'm gonna save the knife story for another day because it's kind of it was a weird one. It was actually a friend of mine who did it as well. It was a guy that I went to university with. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. He basically got me like attacked. He got me set up. So it was basically a guy that I went to university with, and basically essentially like when university finished, he ended up getting like really his life kind of went off the edge, and he had a bit of a meltdown. And he messaged me out of the blue one day and just started like railing into me. So I arranged to meet up with him, and I was like, basically, I'm gonna fuck this guy up when I see him, and he got me jumped. Long story short, are you a roadman? Do I sound like a roadman? Um, Musical was saying this about me in a stream the other day, and I found it was hilarious. He was like, I bet Frankie's like giving it all yardy talk when he goes off stream. I don't know how he figured this out, but he's a fucking genius for that. Well, that's part of base nature. I've experienced what women can actually be like. I should have put two and two together. I should have figured this out. Obviously, I know that you're married to a man as well, so maybe I got thrown off. But like, I should have figured this out. My detective skills have gone way off a cliff. Yeah, I can see why you've come to that. Frankie runs his ends, bro. I live in the burbs right now. I live in a very quiet little town just outside. It's in Cambridgeshire, quite close to a place called Peterborough. Dating a woman is the easiest way to get based in general. When you've had enough experience, that's what eventually happens. Mine is Hannah. I can never trust a chick named that. The Hannahs that I've always have experienced have always been really sweet. Hannah's always seemed to be quite nice. Any Hannah I've encountered has been nice, but Amber is always that's a red flag name. What was the other ones? There's a few names where it's just never. Hang on a sec. Sorry if I'm missing some of these chats, guys. Yeah. So that's basically my stabbing story, and I basically got stabbed in like broad daylight. Not a lot of people know that. It's not something that I really talk about because it was fucked up. We had to go to, and then to make matters worse, not only did I get like you know the little stab mark, I also got hit in the face of a brick, which is why my nose is like, so my face was like hanging off basically, and then the guy ran away. When I say I was like virtually best friends with this dude for like 4 or 5 years, and he ran off, the little cunt. And then what made it worse here, when it went to court, um, I stood there in front of a judge because I didn't press charges on the guy or anything. He got caught later on because it was in broad daylight, and the police eventually caught up to him. I stood there in broad daylight and said, I stood there in court and said, "This is a friend of mine. He was going through a rough time. I don't think he mean for this to happen." I literally defended the little prick. Frankie, let's have some fun. Let's fix up a bit. Let's fix up a bitch named Amber with a bitch named Hannah. This could be fucking hilarious, bro. I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off. Sniff, I don't know, man. I've got one of those faces. I've got one of those faces. I nearly got into it on the weekend. I haven't been to be fair, I don't really get in that many altercations anymore. I'm genuinely a chill person. And I like to think I'm quite kind as well and not confrontational. My ex hummed a glass from the living room through the doorway in the kitchen towards my head. It shattered off the wall. Women are insane, bro. I can tell you some stories. Like the mother of my son has done some like she's tried to run me over with a car. I've got like a cut mark across here where she tried to come at me with a knife and I grabbed it. So I've got like a permanent scar across. I nearly lost a finger with that. I've been headbutted in the face by her as well. Because the thing is, yeah, when I can get quite sarcastic. I'm not like aggressive or like abusive in terms of my language, but I can be quite sarcastic and it can piss people off. Sorry, hang on. I've got to catch up with these chats. I'm really sorry, guys. Top favorite Engelbert Humperdinck songs. That's tough. Did it hurt as much as you thought? Which part in particular? They're getting shanked. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. I'll be real. It was the fact that the little prick ran off as well. My ex once cooked my T-bone medium instead of medium rare. I learned about, bro, that sounds like a nightmare. Ashley is another one as well. Ashleys are always fucked up. Ashleys always have daddy issues. Cindy, Amber, those kind of ones. Eastern women are more chill. Nah, mate, they're not. They're fucking not. They are not. The thing is of Eastern women, yeah, when they're psycho, they're genuinely psycho. They take it to another level. They draw for like the butcher knife and shit. Eastern women are basically on the side of two extremes. They're either overly like placid and calm, or they're fucking legit psychopaths. You get one extreme or the other. Ashley, Emma Lee, Haley, anything with a Lee, you're 100% correct about that. Redheads as well, females I'm talking about in particular. A fizz. What's a fizz? Can you elaborate on this, Chris? Is this like a Canadian thing? Laquandas. Laquandas are toxic. The thing is, I imagine Laquanda would be good for a one-night ride. They are always butters. If you lay with a Lee, you best pray. Don't. That's going up on the board. That's going up on the board. I think we're gonna find it hard to top that quote tonight. Hazels. I've never really had any bad experiences with Hazels either. But there are some names that like definitely stand out as being like, God, I fucking love you, Sniff. What did I ever do without you in here? I have had to stand up for friends of mine because there were guys, because bitches claimed they oh man, I'm telling you, don't even get me started on the fake grape. Don't get me started on the fake grape. I know I'm sorry, Chris. Of course, Fizz from Corey. Question, Chris, would you how many sticks would you give Fizz from Corey? Seeing as you're always asking me that question, I'm gonna throw it right back at you. Rob, I know so many dudes who have been fake grape claimed. So many. It's honestly horrendous. It's honestly horrendous. There's one guy I know that's going through it at the moment. I'm obviously not going to name his name. And I genuinely know he would never do anything like that. I think, yeah, if you fake grape somebody, you should go to jail and you should be put on a list. I think they need to smack them with the full extent of the law. Yeah, I can't wait for no chill. No chill. Yeah, has been grinding, and like I said, I'm really sorry, no chill. If you are in here and you're not subscribed to No Chill, what the fuck are you doing? No Chill streams are fucking amazing. He has one of the most goated MMA videos, or sorry, goated content videos I've ever seen in my life, especially for somebody who's new. Um, check out No Chill MMA. Absolute legend. Get yourselves over there and subscribe immediately. Yeah, I miss NOFC as well. That was one of the best live streams I've ever seen. But also his content is sensational as well. My dad dated a woman named Lee, absolute psycho. The thing is, Westy, most women are fucked up. We all understand the hotness to crazy scale, and we need to live by it. I would also be like, fair play. Yes, check out No Chill MMA. No Chill MMA is my guy. And by the way, No Chill, your contribution on that video was honestly, it was one of the most fun parts of it to edit. Going back and looking at those Bryce Mitchell highlights, going back and looking at him at Tough, I genuinely had such a good time editing your part of the video. I want to say some stuff, but want to sound. Do you mean you don't want to sound racist, bro? That bolt was that horse is already bolted. You might as well go in. If you're going to be racist, this is the perfect place to do it. The crazy hot matrix, live by it. Live by it and die by it. I swear to God. Like I used to love vagina more than air, and literally, women have ruined it. They've ruined chivalry, and I'm literally frightened of getting involved with people. I cannot like. I used to be the worst poonhound in existence, and I actually think twice now. Women have managed to like derail a slag like me just by being complete nut jobs. You stick your dick in crazy, then you get what you get, bro. Don't take them home. Go fuck that. I've told Gaz, I've been saying this for months on here. Never show a woman where you live. Never give a woman your real name. Never give a woman your social media. If you're looking to smash, take them out of town and take care of the situation. Pure and simple. And I'm not joking. People think that I'm joking on here. I'm not. I am not. I've noticed the less nationalities a girl is mixed with, the more I want to be around with them. uh, that is a very interesting take. That is a very interesting take. All right, to be honest, guys, it's kind of I want to stick around for as long as possible, but I'm still lacking sleep, so I'm gonna maybe hang around for another 10 minutes. Can you guys let me know if there's anybody at the moment who's going live who could do with a shout out or some love? I'd really appreciate hooking somebody up tonight because I can't see anybody who's live. There's very few people who go live on a Sunday. Hang on a second. I don't even know where my phone is. Fuck, where is my phone? I don't know where my phone is. It's definitely in the house somewhere. I'll check it out as soon as I get off Paradox. I've been in a courtroom over a fake grape. I actually had to go in for a stupid grape kit, testifying that I spend more time with this individual than anybody. Why has it not happened to me? It's a fair case to make. Bisping, don't feel bad. It's a fucker. If somebody challenges you to a spar and you chin them out, that's on them. Fuck them. Oh, sorry, no chill. Sorry, one sec. 1 sec, no chill. Was that something about getting somebody pregnant and then bunking out? Fair play. I don't need to I've never had a Shaniqua sniff. I've never had the pleasure. I've only ever smashed well, I've smashed two black women in my life, and I regret both of them for different reasons. And I'm not going to get into the reasons for why right now. I'm not going to get into it right now. What was I saying? Yeah, we could raid Mike's MMA. Who's Mike's MMA picks? Could you throw up who is Mike's MMA picks? Who is that? I don't think I'm subscribed to this person. I will get into the UFC as a light heavyweight, mark my words, and we will follow your career all the way, sir. STD and missing money. Unfortunately, it was neither of those things. It was somehow worse than that. Rebrand to Jungle Fever MMA. JVD was here earlier. He was here for quite a bit. You missed my message about a crazy hoe, Frankie. Where is it? 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 Hang on. Hang on, Chris. I actually had an ex-chick best friend in my old town that did that to me. Thank fuck we have hooked up many times before in front of people. All my friends believe me. So she was a friend of yours, and then you smashed her, and then she tried to say she raped you. Or you raped her. That is fucking terrible. I had an experience. It was the smell. I'll say it, Frankie. It it wasn't the smell. Although, now that you mention it, I don't want to go there. It was a yeah. I feel like I've revealed a little bit too much in this stream. So I want to save some of my fucked up stories. But yeah, I've had two experiences that were not ideal. I'll put it that way. Man, smelly pussy is the worst. It's a ruiner. It's a ruiner because it's like I said, back in the day I used to go on the old diving expeditions, and it really puts you off that. It just takes one really dank pussy to fuck up your scuba diving skills for the rest of your life. Because you're wary from then on. If you get like a fucked up vag and you go down there and you get a whiff of something not too savory, it can fuck you up for the rest of your muff diving career. It's true. That's how I won one of my amateur fights. I got booed so hard. Fuck it, mate. You got to do what you. How many fights have you had, Bismarck? And do you have some of your fights on your YouTube? Because I'm definitely going to check that out. Nah, I plug my nose and plug the hole. Yeah, I guess like I don't know. I'd rather use my nose as the barometer for being like whether or not it's safe to be down there or not. I don't want to take away that superpower. Yeah, even though we hooked up 4 or 5 times. What a fucked up cunt. And I guarantee you, mate, I mean, I don't know how that story ended, but I guarantee you she got away with it scot-free rather than being in fucking jail where she belongs. I could not fully agree with women being punished for that more. It was the body smiling in my experience. I'm 3-1 as an amateur in MMA. So how did you lose your one fight? Did you get knocked out? Oh, hang on a second, Crystal. I'll give you one more fucked up story. My sister has had 2 abusive husbands in a row. I had to stand up for the last one because what else are you supposed to do when somebody is screaming in your face, hit you over and over, and eventually you're going to hit her? Hang on a second. Wait. So are you saying your sister was the abusive one? If that's what you're saying, that is the most Chad thing I've ever heard. Oh man, City Life, you're back here. Thank you so much for checking that out. I have never ever. I'll say this one more time. I've never plugged one of my own videos in my life. I never do it. I think it's fucking cringe. But I'm genuinely proud of that video. It's one of my better, probably my best video. So thank you so much for checking it out. I was 18 and lost a decision. Bro, losses make you better. And it's, bro, if I was you, Bismarck, I don't know how old you are now. I would try and get as many amateur bouts in as well as as much as you can, and then go pro and go on a can crushing expedition. Get those numbers up, and then find your way into the UFC. We're fully behind you, sir. Bro, that's the most fucked up thing, Chris. Women do that as well. They'll try to get your ass arrested, and then try to come back. And fortunately, I've never been in that situation where somebody's tried to fake grape me. But I've had situations where women have done fucked up stuff to me and then tried to holler back at me to come get the magic D. I was like, sorry, that ship has sailed. I've got some self-respect. All right, I'll give you one more. I do have some self-respect. Not much, but some. Thank you so much, City Life, man. I really appreciate you, my guy. No chill. Your shit gonna fall off, bro. Wrap that shit up. Definitely don't do that, sir. I'd be a 205-pounder. I could beat some cans and be an NPC unranked light heavyweight. Bro, we're fully behind you. Before that one. Hang on, exactly. My sister would scream at these guys until finally they let loose and would just slap her, and she would take a picture instantly, and she'd hold that. Man, she sounds like a proper grade A cunt. So is it like Angel and Devil in your house? I had to foil her. You are such a Crystal. You are a credit to your gender. I wish there were more women like you out there. Sadly, you make up about. You might be the only person that I can genuinely call a decent. I had to foil her little plan by showing my phone to the cops and the dates that I got sent those pictures. Crystal, you are the one. I had my ex arrested. She was breaking shit in the house. I recorded her and called the cops, and she showed them the vid. Then they cuffed her and off to jail she went. Bro, again, this is what I'm saying. These bitches need to be taken down a peg. You found someone to raid. Who is it? Bro, don't even get me started on that Khalil Roundtree fight. I reckon it's going to last about. I'd be surprised if Khalil makes it out of the first. Well, he might make it out of the first couple of minutes, but it's not making it out of the first round. Khalil Roundtree is fucking shit. Some bitches be wilding. All right, Paradox, can you send who this is? This a troll raid or like a genuine raid? Paradox, you are the guy for finding these obscure YouTubers. I love it. I love sending a raid in and just seeing the look on people's faces light up when suddenly their chat goes off the chain, especially when you get base motherfuckers like you turning up and breaking loose. I'm not trolling. I would last longer against Pereira than Roundtree. I believe you. I think Roundtree is fucking shit. Crystal, keep doing the Lord's work. Keep doing it. Nothing but respect. Crystal is our Rachel Wilson. Crystal is I don't know how I ever I'm so grateful to YouTube for bringing people like Crystal into my life. Genuinely. What a legend you are. One viewer. Paradox, we've got to do this. Who is it? Right, let's go. Let's go. Guys. Hang on a sec. Let me hang on. I haven't even got my own channel open. 1 second, guys. Because I really should fuck, who is this? This is all right. In the Granite 617. Everyone, let's get the fuck over to In the Granite 617. I'm gonna hang on. Let me just link this real quick. Pin the message. Dudes, if we can get over there, I will be. City Life is in the chat already. Beautiful. If you could get over there and give this man a raid, A couple of months after she said those claims about me, her druggy dad took advantage of his son. Hang on a sec. And when the kid was going to squeal, he killed him and himself. Fuck. Whoa. I think we're going to end on that one. Oh, hang on. I also got my second sister busted for meth dealing. Tammy Cahoon, Bismarck, North Dakota. These two bitches made my childhood terrible. Yeah, Crystal, it sounds like you got the last laugh. Frankie, did you see my message before you dip? Where is it? Her whole family is bonkers. It makes sense. I did see the uh, bro, Chris, that is dark as fuck, bro. I did see it. We got a raid together. Give us a count out. All right, I'm going out in 10. I'm going now. I'm off now, guys. I love you all. Have a great Sunday. Let's head over to this dude and raid the fuck out of him. All right, guys, you're amazing. I'll catch you all soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this Sunday. It's been absolutely fantastic as always. Get over to this guy. I've linked it in the description and check out my video as well. I'd really appreciate it. Boys, girls, I'll catch you on Tuesday for Dana White's Contender Series.